Okay, practice complementary question, page 47, question number 1. Let's go right to the question here. So with these type of questions, these are a type of polygenic question. And what I mean by that with polygenic is where what we've been talking about up until now, even with a dihybrid. When we talked about a dihybrid, we said that one gene, when they segregate into their gametes, does not affect the expression of the other gene. So seed shape does not influence or have any impact on the expression of seed color. That was, if you remember, Mendel's second law, the law of independent assortment. But there are some genes, and they're called polygenic genes, where a gene will affect or influence the expression of another gene located on a different chromosome. And one form of that are these complementary type of questions. And complementary type of questions are where you have two different genes, they interact in a way to produce a phenotype that either parent is capable of making themselves. Okay, so it is a type of, like I say, a polygenic question where you do have that one gene influencing the expression of another gene on a separate chromosome. Okay, so if you remember, and all I'm looking at is on page 46, when we looked at these roosters, the combs on roosters, on the head of a rooster. And if we just look at that legend really quickly, we said that if I have a capital R, doesn't matter what the other allele is, but I have little p's, that's going to give me a rose type of comb on the rooster on the chicken's head. Okay? We also said that if I have little r's and a big P, doesn't matter what the other allele is, as long as there's a big P and the other alleles are little r's, that's going to give me a P shape comb. And if I have the two interact together, a big R, doesn't matter what the other one is, and a big P, that's going to give me this complementary phenotype that either parent is able of expressing on their own, and that would be a walnut. Okay, so as long as I have a capital R and a capital P, it's always going to be walnut. And if I have all of them in a recessive condition, two little R's, two little P's, that's going to give me a single shaped comb. So that's our legend, quite complicated. That's why we just put it right in the note package on page 46 for you. So let's just do that. Now we're ready to take a look at the question. So there's a legend. Then we're going to underline some parents here. It says identify the phenotypes and the genotypes. So we know what genotypes, got to do a Punnett Square. F1 generation from a cross between a homozygous rose and a homozygous pea-comb rooster. Okay, so homozygous rose. Go back to our legend. This is why we've spent time writing it out. But to be rose, I have to have at least a capital R. To be homo rose, I have to have two capital R's. Now we know the only way that I can have a rose comb is if my other gene is consisting of two alleles with little p's. So that's a given. So there's our rose comb chicken. Now homozygous P, if we take a look at P, I have to have a capital P, but I have to have two little r's. So that's a given. We'll put that in there. And it must have a capital P at least, but because it says homozygous, that's how I know this is two capital P's. Homo meaning same. Both those alleles are the same. Okay, so there's our genotypes of our parents. Now we're ready to do our Punnett Square. We always started off with a line intersecting another line. And we'll stop there because we don't know how many we're going to actually gametes we're going to form from these guys. Again, you're not showing repeats. So let's take the one parent here and match it with the first allele of the second trait. So we have a capital R, little p, but you notice everything else is a repeat. Okay, so we only have to do that once. Go to the other allele, little r, big P, put that down the side, and here you also notice that those are all repeats. So again, shortcuts, we've taken a 16 Punnett square and we've condensed it into one square, one Punnett block. Now, bring the dominant guys together, capital R, capital P, little p. Now, they're not just having one offspring, but what this suggests is that no matter how many times they're mated, all of the offspring, take a look at our legend, as long as I have a big R and a big P, doesn't matter what the other alleles are, these are going to be walnut. So you are going to have, now if this was represented in a phenotypic ratio and it went like this, you would say 1 walnut. If it was percentage, 100% of all their offspring would be walnut. Sometimes they even have this. They might say how many of these are, let's say, rose. How many of these are P? How many of these are single? Like in a numerical response type of question. And of course, these would all be 0 in this case. Okay, so all of them are going to be walnut. Okay, thanks.